I think it's live. So Phil still hasn't shown up. Do you think that's...
Phil's not going to be here tonight, I don't think.
Great.
That's going to be a real thing.
Cool. Well, this should be awesome.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode here of the Wish You Were a Beer Show. If you're unfamiliar with us, A, thank you for stopping by. And B, know that this is a live beer review show that we do every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here through YouTube. You can also find us live on Facebook, the artist formerly known as Twitter. We are working on streaming this through Instagram as well. That's going to be a new platform that's available.
Coming in 2024.
Coming in 2024. We will stream live.
Through Instagram.
Through Instagram. Yeah,
we're already doing that in a lot of other places.
Doing it live. Yeah. If you go down to the bottom of the screen there, you can see all of our social media handles. If you go to the About section on the page, you can also find us on Untapped, which is where we do most of our beer drinking and where all of our beers are logged for the show and individually.
You forget all of these down here. Go up here to the wishyouabeershow.com. Look at me, weather.
A lot of weather in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wishyouabeershow.com. That is our website. You can find a complete catalog of all of our past shows. You can find an upcoming schedule of our shows that we have on the docket so far, which is not many for 2024 because we took a lot of time off.
Listen, this week's been great.
The week's been great. But also, if you want to check out some of our merch and some other things we have available on the website, you can buy us a beer. Those are easy ways to support the show if you're interested. Buying a couple of pieces of merch, buying us a beer, that goes directly back into the show. And keeps us with low quality like you see currently. Yeah. So please continue to support 32-bit.
Yeah. No, it's just your shirt.
It's just my shirt. I got a new Donkey Kong shirt for Christmas. I'm very excited about it. He is eating bananas very sexually, so well, I don't know how I feel about it, but
it's a good thing because I didn't make our Snapchat shirt as usual.
Oh, that checks out.
Yeah, so that one's coming. That one's going to be probably closer to a birthday present.
Dave, I'm pretty sure the Smirnoff were for the last episode, but thank you for coming prepared as always. Big fan. Kevin, it's good to see you.
I really hope you're drinking something other than.
I also love that Kevin speaks for Abby. Hola. Abby will be here in a minute. It's okay, Kevin. So thank you as always for stopping by. Seriously. We do this show every single week. We drink a lot of beers in the off time as well, which is why our social media becomes important, because if you want to see what we're doing in the meantime, you can catch us anywhere in there. Gabriel's having a Guinness.
Oh, I had a Guinness yesterday.
Checks out.
Delicious.
It is delicious. We did a whole show on Guinness you can find as well on the older catalog there if you visit the website, wishyouabeershow.com.
Yeah.
All right.
Past episode.
That's all I'm talking about, the goddamn website. If you don't know us, I'm Daniel. This is Tiffany.
Hello.
Phil is our normal co-host as well. He's
not necessarily normal, but he's normally here.
He's normally here.
Right.
That checks out.
Yeah. Normally here with us.
Yes, correct. But he is traveling again this week. The holidays are a funny time for everybody. So he's traveling again. So he's not going to be joining us tonight. But we do have a guest on the show with us tonight to make up for Phil not being here. Probably way more entertaining than Phil if you've seen the show. But I'm sorry, a Bud Heavy, you say?
Yes.
Proud of you, Kevin. Proud of you, Kevin. Yes, that is the perfect breakfast. No. If you're unfamiliar with the show, we're going to start it off the same way that we do every single week. We like to do a quick news section, if you will, on something that happened in the industry, something that's important to the beer or beer adjacent world. It's a small little thing that we call
to find the clip.
Beer news. Yeah, Phil normally does this, so I got to keep running my mouth while I select it. Here it is. Forget my papers so I can be like Walter Cronkiting them. But this is a section we do every week just about something in the industry, whether it's beer adjacent, people involved in the industry. But this week it was relatively simple because we're coming up on the end of the year. And one thing that we discussed last year that we looked back into this year again was where the state of the industry is in the beer world in general.
It's like a State of the Union, but for beer.
but way more important. And then also some of the beer trends that we're looking forward to in 2024, or that the industry thinks are going to be big bangers in 2024. So it was interesting when we were looking at where the industry stands. All the articles on it dragged to the industry being at a lower level than it is consistently, and has happened multiple years in a row.
Beer world is like everything's down.
Correct. Everything's down. It's Armageddon in the beer world. But then when you start to look into it, it's really interesting because it's InBev heavy.
Yeah.
So if Bud Light fucks up and tanks, the beer world is down. Beer is gone to shit. It's oversaturated.
Like 2% drop this year after like another 1% or something last
Correct.
year. So I mean, like, I don't actually know if those numbers are real, but
yeah, those are fake numbers.
But I don't remember it being like as drastic as this had made it seem.
Yeah.
It was definitely like, oh no, like craft beer's dying, and it's like,
and again, it was really Bud Light heavy. So the story that we read this week focused really heavily on how much Bud Light and Bud Light adjacent InBev beers tanked due to the obvious marketing issues that we talked about on the show previously. But it was really funny because they were like, it tanked. And then again, the numbers were like, we're down 3%. And I'm like, that's pretty fucking good where I live. But maybe you guys live a different life than I do.
Yeah, well, you know. So they're writing the articles because they pay for them.
I always think it's interesting too, though, because we drink a shit ton of craft beer. We spend a lot of time with all of our local places and all of our breweries, and craft beer is doing just fine based off of my wallet and my bank account alone. And that's really the only thing I can gauge it off of.
Yeah, well, you know, microeconomy. That's the big thing about, you know, macroeconomy. Sure, great, it's doing well, but dinner table economics.
Penises, we're talking about economics.
Sorry.
When you say micro, it makes me nervous.
Economics.
Tiffany is now going to discuss the upcoming trends of 2024 within the beer world.
Welcome, 2024. It's going to be great. No, a lot of the same trends that kind of we started seeing this year and we talked about in our episode last year are repeating. So that's going to be, you know, seltzers are still going to be big. Sober curious crowd is still going to be wanting to look at those NA beers or really, really low ABV beers. You've got hard kombucha, CBD,
CBD infused beers.
Yeah.
Yep.
The ready to drink cocktails are huge.
That was one of the things that the tanking of the beer industry was associated with, was that ready to drink cocktails are now becoming a thing for Gen Zers versus beer drinkers or liquor drinkers or wine drinkers. They can just go get a mixed drink now in a can, throw it down.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting because
that's probably about it. There's one or two more.
We've already seen that rise in the mixed drink world and the mixed cocktail world.
Well, I think it's an opportunity to make Budweiser or whatever like standard cocktails out of beer.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I mean, that's an easy, ready to drink, something mass production.
Yep.
Again, if that's who's controlling the industry, I guess we can talk about them.
One of the other big ones that they were talking about being a trend in 2024, which I thought was interesting because there's several breweries in our area that have already made this push or are trying to go that direction. But everybody knows about the plastic 4-pack containers and 6-pack containers. Obviously, we're trying to get rid of those. They are reusable if you turn them back into your establishment and let them reuse them. They do have to purchase those.
If anyone needs any, we have.
If anyone needs any, we have a shit ton.
Of them just stacked.
But I thought it was interesting. Several of the breweries in our area have already sought out cardboard variations of it or paper variations of it. But there is a company that's looking to do 100% compostable ones, which I thought was interesting. So for
made out of potatoes,
most people in the craft brewery world, I'm kind of worried about the environment. I kind of like chickens. I have a compost pile. Let's see what happens.
You complained about.
I fucking hate all of that. But for the sake of the show, I have to pretend that I care. The beer industry doesn't care about being eco-friendly.
Sure they do.
They waste the most amount of water in the history of water usage so that you and I can get drunk. Don't let them lie to you. Yep.
I just flipped the compost. So I just want everyone to know.
One less yacht trip. True story, sir. I care about the eco. I have an Eco Bee thermostat as well. I do care about that. It costs me money. Jack.
What's up, Jack?
No, but I think it's interesting. A lot of the trends are going to repeat themselves in some capacity, and I think the industry's caught on to it.
Yeah.
Breweries are already looking at doing NAs and doing some variations of them. A lot of them are already making pre-made or buying pre-made mixed drinks, whether it's a margarita or something else. They have a tap for that. So I think a lot of these things have already come into play, but it's going to continue to be that trend and continue to rise the more and more that the craft beer market gets saturated. Which, let's not kid ourselves, it's pretty heavily saturated now. So if you drink craft beer, you have a couple of craft beers that you really like, or a couple of places that you spend a lot of time at.
Yep.
And then a lot of people don't venture out past that because you find your place, you hang out there.
And it's also you're drinking, and then the further out you go, the more responsible you, in theory, have to be.
Yeah,
I do not encourage drinking and driving at all.
No, of course not.
But I'm just saying, like, the chances of being like, I can't wait it out, but I just had this third beer or whatever.
Imagine if NAs came into play.
I know.
What a crazy world.
For the record, everyone should partner up with someone doing NAs if they don't want to brew them, and they should offer them.
Andrew, you son of a bitch.
Yes, wish you would be a show. Merch is the best.
Delayed Christmas celebration. What delayed it? Hanukkah?
No, Hanukkah ended on the 15th. It's actually closer to a delayed Kwanzaa.
That's fair. That's fair.
Kwanzaa's 26th.
That's fair.
Or was the 26th?
So that's the end of beer news. You guys know where the industry sits if you drink a few beers. Pay attention to the trends because I do think they are actually going to catch up this year. Even though we talked about it last year. Big on TikTok. Yeah. If you're not following us on TikTok, you are missing out. It's a lot of low quality filming and not important information. I'm excited for tonight's show. Again, we do have a guest coming on that is not related to the beer we're having on the show. So I do want to mention the beer we're having on the show quickly. We are doing a beer called All Mammals Play. It's a rustic heirloom Pilsner. It's from Sante Adairius. They are out of Capitola, California, which is close to where this one born and raised.
Yes.
So we got the chance to swing by their venue and have a couple of beers there on site, and we brought this one home with us.
Fantastic beers.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this beer. They weren't able to be on the show with us tonight. Unfortunately, they had previous engagements. So we're going to do a bit that I don't have a slide for.
Yeah, we're going to make one.
Well, I mean, we do have a slide to have a guest on.
Correct. But we don't have like a spotlight.
Yeah. So one of the things we talked about doing a little bit more on this season of the show is doing a little more local spotlights. If you're familiar with the show, Tiffany and I drink a lot of beer in our local zip code and area code, and we get to spend a lot of time with a lot of great people. We don't always have the time to highlight them on the show or do full episodes with them because we're constantly getting beer from other people and trying to be as broad as possible. Yes. So
we're starting small right now.
We're starting huge right now. This is the first one.
Well, yeah, I more meant like
it's a big deal.
Would you stop? So we're starting with our local kind of crew here to one, give them some spotlight time, but also just as a thank you. And then as we kind of figure some things out, this is going to be more of an open spot where anyone, even if we don't have their beers or they can't get them to us or whatever, that'll be an opportunity for some airtime. Yeah. Coming up.
100%. So if we're doing a beer on the show and the guest can't be there, the brewery can't be there, we'd love to feature some local folks or some people that we drink with some regularity. And we're going to start that trend tonight. So again, we're doing All Mammals Play out of Sante Adairius, but I'm also excited that we're going to have Bird Girl Bottle Shop on with us. They're a brand new bottle shop out of Newport News, Virginia, which again, local spotlight for us. We've already been there several times and have had great experiences, great beers, and fantastic pizza. So we are going to talk to Britt here shortly, right after I roll this dumb intro that we still haven't changed. That is very much fun. Oktoberfest. Well, I hope you brought your later hosen.
Yeah, I did.
Britt, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. This is so cool. You guys are the best.
Oh, of course. Now I'm always excited. Like when we talked about this bit originally, I was like, I mean, you guys had literally just opened up. We were there for the soft opening. Y'all are one of the first people I thought of. I was like, oh, gold. Yes, we need to do this with them in some capacity.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Oktoberfest thing works because that's when we open. So.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah.
So now you guys you label yourself as a bottle shop. You're in beautiful historic Hilton Village in Newport News, which is a wonderful venue in general. But you guys label yourself as a bottle shop, but obviously you do a bit more of that. Again, the pizza's already come up in the post outside of me even mentioning it. So do we start with pizza or do we start with beer?
Oh, I hate it, but we can talk about pizza. That's okay. We can talk about pizza first. Yeah.
Okay. So what other than your pizzas change with some regularity? Obviously we follow you guys on Instagram. I love seeing what's coming up and where it comes from and who created it for some reason. But let's talk about the dough first.
Okay. So our dough is a poolish, which means that it's like partial sourdough and a partial fresh. Because we originally tried just straight sourdough, but it kind of didn't work with like all of our weird flavors that we had like for our pizzas. It was just too much happening. So the fresh kind of tones down the sour. And our starter is really cool. It's really special because it's from all Derek is my husband. We started the business. I feel like I should say that. We are the team of the business.
Yes.
Yes, this is us. We are a team. And,
we make a triangle. Yes.
We are a triangle team.
Yes.
And so all of the parts of our sourdough is our starter are like from our favorite places. So we have a spot from, California, Wilmington, North Carolina, Philly, and also Newport News that have kind of like made this sour dough.
Sour dough, right?
Yeah.
Now, I love the fact that you guys, I know that you rely heavily on your staff in some capacity as well as y'all's brains. There's a new pizza almost every week, I feel like, and it's always attached to somebody. Like Kelly made this one up. Britt came up with this one. Derek, while in the toilet was like, I got a pizza.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. I mean, like we have 2 pizzas that are pretty much there like every week.
Yeah.
And then we have one that changes every single week. And it's kind of like a lot of pressure because like each pizza that we have is really good. And we're just like, oh, well, it can't be bad because then people are going to message me and be like, hey, bring that back. Like this wasn't it,
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure for sure.
Yeah. I think you guys are doing just fine with it.
Still holding strong though.
Yeah. Don't worry, we randomly come up with ideas for food. So we've been coming up with hot dog ideas for Dave.
Okay.
We'll come up with some pizza ideas. Yeah.
Please. Yeah, feel free to send me ideas.
You don't want us to hand draw a pizza. So we hand drew a hot dog for Dominion Dogs up in Williamsburg.
Phallic.
It looked like a vagina, and I was uncomfortable.
That'll sell.
It was phallic on one, and then it was a vagina and a cross. And I was like, no.
We can't show this to anyone.
Cannot.
Has anyone seen it? Because I feel like I need to.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's uncomfortable.
It'll just be between you and me. I won't say anything.
It's not going on my Instagram, I promise.
Yeah.
So now again, you guys you're relatively, brand new.
Yeah, we're
really
super new.
With things.
Yeah, we're super, super new. We just opened at the end of October, and it's been really great. Like, I don't know, this process has been 1.5 years of us doing it. Like, we bought this house, lived here for 1 year, and then through that year, we were just getting drawings, like talking in the city, getting things happening, and then construction started, and 6 months later, we were open. So it's pretty, while we were in it, it felt extremely slow, but like saying it out loud, it feels like it was pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, super fast.
Yeah. I felt like it was pretty quick just being on the outside of it, watching it, because it was like, oh shit, they're open.
We've got another brewery in the area that has taken a long time.
Yeah.
So
you did better than Beals. They're 3 years out still.
oh, that's so sad. Every time they come in, I'm like, are you open yet? Like, your beer is really good. Like,
you guys are killing us here.
I know.
yeah.
Now, and if you're, so they're in
So
Hilton
dope.
Village in Newport News, which if you're unfamiliar with them, it's a World War I to World War II housing development that was built by the Army Corps of Engineers.
The first one ever.
Yeah, so it's a really cool historic neighborhood. They have a great little Hilton house on the corner that the bottom level's been all renovated. Ton of outdoor seating. Again, pizzas, beer, wine, you name it. And one thing I think is really great about you guys, and I'm not sure how you pulled off this because it's difficult sometimes. You can buy a single there and open it and drink it on site.
Yeah, we have an on and off premise license.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big fan.
It's pretty, I know. I like it too, which is why we had to have pizzas. Because in order for people to drink there, you have to have a meal.
Right.
Yep.
And originally we were gonna do sandwiches, but they said that's not a meal. So you have to do like, I know, it's fine. It all worked out.
Yeah.
Our pizzas are really good. Like
They are
fine.
delicious. They are delicious.
It's fine.
I love it. Now, so you guys also do a ton of wine too, though, because every time I'm in there, I always forget about the whole wine section on the side.
Yep.
And you guys get a bunch of wines in. Do you see a separation point between who comes in there for beer and who comes in there for wine? Or is it pretty even?
It's pretty even. And I think because we have such a wide variety, like people will just be like, you know, I'm going to try this today. So, and that's kind of what we wanted. We wanted people to be excited by like just trying something new. And we have wines by the glass now too.
Yep.
So like, you don't have to commit to a full bottle. So I mean, that's exactly why we wanted Bird Girl to exist, because like some of our first dates, Derek and mine, we were just like, get a beer, split it, and enjoy just talking about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're seeing that here, and it's really sweet.
Yeah, and it's fun too, because so when you guys opened up, we had followed you all on Instagram. I think we had met at like Precarious or somewhere else prior.
Oh my God, I was such a fangirl. Do you remember that? I'm like I'm a little embarrassed because I was like, oh my gosh, it's Tiffany and Dan. And like my dad was
I met your dad.
That's right.
My dad was like, they've got like a podcast, and I was like, yeah, I know, Dad. Like, I know.
I think I've actually met your dad like 3 times now, which is
he likes you guys a lot.
That's upsetting.
No, I do remember because that was one of the first times.
His name is Dan too.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we get along so well.
Yeah, you're the same.
It was one of the first times we got recognized in public, and I was like, "Oh crap!
Shit, we're somebody.
I can't just go places and be an idiot anymore."
I was so excited.
No, but I you know what I love about the space in general, though, is again, we met you guys early in the process. We got to watch it all evolve through social media. Thank God. Like, we weren't there every weekend like you guys were living in the house, but we got to kind of see the progression of it.
Weird.
And it's fun now because every time we're in there, we run into our beer friends who we normally see at a brewery or somewhere else. And we're having pizza out on the patio, and everybody's going in to get a new single beer, and everybody's cracking it and passing it around going, have you had this? Have you had this? Have you had this? I think it's a great, cool little space that doesn't exist in that area that does now.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Kevin has a very important question.
He'd like to know what your favorite bird is.
Okay. So I get this question all the time. I like all birds, honestly. Like, birds are cool. But the reason why it's called Bird Girl is because Derek and I went to the same high school together, and we were in a play, Susical the Musical, and I was a bird in the play, and he just called me Bird Girl. That's it. That's it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I actually did not know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not.
It's on their website.
Yeah, I've never.
It's on their website.
I've never been on a website other than our own. WishYou'reABeerShow.com. Check out the merch station. No, okay, all right, sorry.
Wait. I did. And I got one of your shirts while you guys were talking about Budweiser. You guys got really cute stuff. Everyone should go check it out. It's awesome.
We have a lot of free time. Phil normally makes shirts, so there will be no shirts from this episode because Phil is not here.
Phil.
He has really let us down the past couple of weeks. There is no doubt about it.
I mean, it's the holidays.
Yeah.
We'll let it slide.
Actually, I tell you what. Let's check in on Phil real quick, because I think he's relaxed.
I just realized it's recording.
Maybe one of my favorite tips to fill in the history of photography. Oh.
Wait, was that camera just like always rolling, or is that just a really
Phil does drone photography, so that was his drone, and it's made to follow him in case he's moving around. So when he fell, it followed him to the floor level, and he didn't realize it was still recording. So he's laughing at himself and chuckling and singing to himself. And he's like, "Oh fuck."
That's excellent. Good job, Phil.
God, it's gold.
It is.
I think that should be a t-shirt. Just that.
It's honestly, I've tried to put it on a t-shirt. The video quality is so low because this drone sucks.
I'm just
kidding.
Okay.
It doesn't need to be good. It could be quality and it's still good.
It's always the low quality stuff that gets the internet going.
Yeah.
Kevin wants the hot dog drawing for the next t-shirt.
I don't think it's appropriate.
Kevin, I don't think you're allowed to wear that around anyone.
Need to be at least 200 feet away from schools at all times with this shirt.
All right. So, more important question. You guys are brand new still in the grand scheme of things, but what's coming up for 2024? I mean, we're rolling into the new year.
We have so much. It is like, I made a post today because I was overwhelmed by like all the very awesome about to happen. Mm-hmm. We're doing a beer club. We're doing a pizza club.
Nice.
And there's also a really sweet like run club that's happening. Yep. Lots of clubs. So many clubs.
Yeah.
We have lots of like cups coming in, more merchandise, beers coming. Honestly, we get beers and wines Monday through Friday. I'm always excited by everything. Nice. I mean, it's a loaded question because there's so many good things. It's just a good space.
Well, so being that we're a beer show, let's talk about the beer club then. So beer club, like, is it like a mug club or is it like a punch your card 10 times, get a free beer?
No, so it's a mug club. There's going to be 50 available. Nice. It's $100 for the year, and you get $1 off a draft and then 10% off everything else.
Very cool. Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, you get your glass.
Nice. So you do get to keep the glass or the mug, whatever you go with. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. It's a Belgian style glass, and it's like our fountain logo that has bird.
No, good. I love your fountain logo. Yeah, it's one of our favorites.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes.
We talk about it with some regularity in the household.
I have a pin. I think I have 2 pins actually.
Yeah.
When I gave you one, you're like, I promise to ponder this one very much.
Correct. 100%.
I was like, this will be forever.
You can't get drafts to go yet, though. No growlers.
No, we do.
What?
We have growlers, and that's going to start in January. I have growlers, and I got them like while we were still like not open.
Yeah.
Because I knew that was always a goal. So we're also going to have 2 pizzas and a growler to go for $50.
Oh, nice. That's not bad. Yeah.
I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's killer. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
That's what I guess we're going to do for date night.
Great. See you next year.
Awesome. Well, super excited to have you here. I have loved every moment we've been in your space. It is a fantastic location, and I feel like every time I walk in, there's something else very thoughtful that has been added. So it's a really cool space, and I'm really excited that you guys are in existence, and we can come join you. At least I feel like it's probably every other week.
Let's not get out of hand.
Maybe once a week. The pizza's really good. The pizza is really good.
And you like extra hot honey.
Oh, yes.
God, it's my favorite. Yeah. All right. So if people are out of the area, but maybe coming into the area, what's your website? What's your social medias? Go ahead and give me your.
It's all the same. Bird Girl Bottle Shop. Yep. For Facebook, Instagram, and then website is birdgirlbottleshop.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to 2024 with you guys because you have only been in existence for a short amount of time in this year, and it's already been fantastic. So I'm excited for 2024 for y'all and to have another place where we can go hang out with good people and have good beer. And
Yeah.
that's my
I
favorite.
mean, I feel like that happens all the time. Like, I really believe, like, I just have the best people coming into the shop right now.
I did see about the beer floats they have.
Yes.
They have
Hey, Poppies. Hey.
Right,
love you.
Poppies. I knew they were going to swing by. As soon as you posted it on yours,
Okay.
I was like, Poppies is coming by. Let's talk
Okay.
about it.
Diego is like, I love that dude. He
Yeah.
is the most humble ice cream maker I've ever met. And his ice cream is so good. And we are partnering this weekend until I run out of ice cream with a salted pretzel, like ice cream with a caramel drizzle.
Nice.
For like with a stout. It's so good.
Oh, I bet that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
looked delicious when I saw it, and I was like, "Cool, we're gonna have them on the show, and we're gonna see them again this weekend."
I have one very important question though. Have you met any arrogant ice cream makers? Because you said he was the most humble. I want to know what arrogant ice cream maker you met. Like, I make the best ice
I'm
cream.
Mr. Dryers.
I mean,
Mr.
maybe it's just
Dryers
because
to
like
you.
maybe the way I feel is his ice cream is so good and so like well thought out that he could be arrogant. You know, he could be a jerk.
You could achieve it
not.
if you wanted to. Yeah. I love it.
Well, thank you for not being arrogant.
Well
Yeah.
done, Diego.
Delicious ice cream.
He's wonderful.
All right, listen, I'm going to let you get back to work. You got about 30 more minutes before you close down tonight.
Yes.
Wild animal.
Yes. Well, thanks for having me. It means a lot.
Yeah, of course. And honestly, I want to do a full show with you guys because I think you have a lot more to offer than just the 15 minutes I gave you. But we enjoy the space. I look forward to it every time we're there. And anytime you want to swing by and talk about anything, shoot us a message. Let us know.
Yes.
You're the best.
All right.
Awesome. Bye,
Cheers, Britt.
Thanks.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Yes, babe.
All right.
What do we got to do now?
Gotta talk about this beer.
Oh, fuck. We had a beer. Yeah. Okay. So we did drink a beer throughout that entire process. So tonight, again, we drank All Mammals Play. It's a rustic heirloom Pilsner from Sante Adairius. They are out of Capitola, California, which I'm sure Carol will chime in here shortly about how bad it's going out there. But
they are being somewhat roughed up by.
Yeah, again, God hates the West Coast.
Nope.
I don't make the rules.
Okay.
So I thought this beer was interesting, and we'll get into it in a second because it's a rustic heirloom Pilsner.
Yes.
I want you to think about that as we go into this review.
Yeah. No, I'm
think about what you think that might mean because I don't know what it should mean.
Oh.
And I feel like I've spent a lot of time thinking about it today, but we'll fucking see. Right. So this is the portion of the show where we're actually going to review the beer. We do use Untappd for all of our beer reviews. It's easy for us to track it. It's easy for us to keep up on it. So that's 1 to 5 bottle caps, 1 being the worst beer we've ever had, 5 being the best beer we've ever had. So tonight we're doing a beer from Sante Adairius. It's called All Mammals Play. It's a rustic heirloom Pilsner out of California. I'm interested to hear Tiffany's take on this because, again, we went to this brewery and they list themselves as rustic ales, and we had a lot of foeder age stuff and saison stuff from them. So I'm interested to see how you think that translates to a Pilsner.
Yeah. So Sante Adairius Rustic Ales, or Sarah, their whole thing is going with more like old school style beers. And I believe they usually go with more of like a Belgian, like traditionalist style of brewing. And so when drinking this, it is extremely like earthy.
Okay.
For a Pilsner, like, which is still really not that earthy, but like it's got kind of more of that like earthy, definitely more of it's a slightly different malt profile. And it kind of has like almost like a weird farmhouse finish in the back of my tongue. Like to me, this is a very rustic, like, I feel like it was made at a farm, like somewhere very far away and like,
okay,
Germany or something. I don't know.
That is very far away.
Yeah, pretty far.
yeah,
Couldn't
yeah.
couldn't drive there.
Trust you on that one.
Maybe kayak, but definitely not drive. But no, so with that kind of in mind, and that's kind of like the flavors I'm getting, like I feel like they nailed the style of it.
Sure.
And you know, to your point, we had a lot of other beers that were also very good, in the sense that they were, I don't know, traditionalist to like a fault, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't
but
beers
they're
that
not-
would fly off the shelf.
Well, I don't know if it's beers that wouldn't fly off the shelf, because I think that they're still doing some unique things to them, but they're not straying that far away from like the traditional stuff.
Okay.
Which, I mean, lagers have really kind of made a comeback in the last 5 years or so,
Yeah.
and that style of beer in general. So I feel like these are like, I would definitely buy the crap out of this, like these beers in general.
Okay.
So
what would you rate this beer?
yeah, I'm getting there. So bottle caps, 4.75.
Oh, it's a high rating for you.
I kind of like it because it is kind of like a weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm gonna check Phil's review first. So Phil couldn't be here tonight, our co-host, but he does have this beer and he did film his review. It's equally as long as Tiffany's, so let's just bear with each other.
Hey everyone, I'm sorry I can't be there tonight for our last episode of 2023, but I will be back for our first episode of 2024. So I hope everyone has a happy new year. I'm sure that this episode is going great. I'm sure Daniel has not made a single mistake about anything. It was his first night doing Kahoot. So if he did it, congrats. If he decided not to do it, congrats to everyone watching, because that means that he didn't mess it up. But either way, I'm not here to talk about Daniel and all of his mess-ups. I'm here to talk about All Mammals Play, which is the beer that I assume that they had tonight. This is from whatever they said this is from, Sante Adairius Rustic Ales. I'm sure this is from California. Either way, let's get into this beer. It's exciting that we're having a Pilsner. I'm sorry that I can't be there to enjoy this with you. We haven't had a Pilsner in a while. So I won't do a full pour here because, you know, time is precious. And I know we got a shorter episode now. Here we go. Oh, okay. It's got a little funk to it. Or maybe it's just an old beer. I also feel like I haven't had a Pilsner in so long that it's like surprising. It's really easy to drink. There's more flavor in it than a normal Pilsner. It's got a little bit more something exciting going on. I can't say that it's the flavor that I like, but that little bit of funkiness is not great for me. But it's cool that it's not just your standard Pilsner, I guess. Man, I'm getting great at these reviews. This one for me, let's cut this out. It's a 3.75 for me. I'm wondering what everyone else gave it. All right, everyone. I'll see you next year.
All right, so the fact that Phil threw that in there is fantastic. Phil
I
and
forgot all about that video.
Phil and I know each other from a long time ago, and you used to be able to do stuff, and you could do stuff to water fountains in New York City and not have to worry about COVID or anything else. It was a different time. Oh, it's so
I can't
good.
even breathe.
I thought I was gonna lose Tiffany because we were watching the like video time that Phil sent us, and I was like, he's done with his review. It has 15 seconds left. And I was like, oh fuck, here we go. Never mind.
And I said, "Oh no!
Oh no!"
This is on the internet forever.
Shit. That's been on the internet a long time, but if you don't know how to find that, I don't trust your internet skills. All right, so Phil gave it what? 3.75? You gave it a 4.75.
I liked the funkiness of it.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm on board with both of y'all actually. So it does have a little bit of funkiness to it. I do think that's part of how they do their beers. They're going to age a little bit longer, whether they're food or whatever.
Good.
Yeah, no, it's not my favorite Pilsner if I think about it like a Pilsner. If I think about it more as to how they do their beer, I think it's a great beer. I drink the shit out of it. But again, if I'm comparing Pilsners to Pilsners,
I compared it to its own category.
which is Pilsner.
No.
Pilsner is a category. Rustic heirloom Pilsners is not a category, which is why we've never had one of those.
All right.
So I think Pilsner to Pilsner, I'm with Phil on this one. I think it's a great beer. I could drink it again, but if I'm comparing it against Pilsners, it's a solid 3.75 for me. Still not a bad beer. Delicious in a lot of ways.
I loved it. I'll drink the rest of yours if you're good.
I'm already almost done with it, but
Well.
thank you. So that's going to give it a show score of 3.75.
No, it doesn't. I gotta balance it out somehow.
No, 2 against 1.
Nope. There's like an
3.75,
average.
3.7. It's done.
Wow.
It's finished.
Wow.
So 3.75. If you're upset about that, write your
am.
congressman.
Don't need to. Sitting right here next to you.
I'm not your congressman.
I know, but you are
All right.
the one controlling the mouse.
We have one more section left, and I think everyone knows what it is. And if you're still watching for some godforsaken reason after watching me deep throat a water fountain in New York City, let's do Wish You Were Actually Beer. All right, if you're unfamiliar with the show, this is the portion of it that gave us the original idea on what the hell we were doing with this show. What do you wish was actually beer versus what it is? Could be something from your life, your childhood, could be your college friend showing a video of you deep throating a water fountain, literally anything. Anything.
Joey first.
Yes, I would like that. I'm very caught off guard by this.
You're the one. No, so mine's pretty easy. I wish this week was beer.
Okay.
This week is historically a down week for pretty much most companies, especially within like the knowledge industry or the whatever they call it. People who can like work from home.
They call that the knowledge industry.
Yeah, there's.
I call that the lazy industry.
Sir.
Oh, sorry. Let me not getting my wish you were beer. Go ahead.
Your brain burns the most calories.
Sure it does.
God.
Said someone who doesn't physically do anything. Adorable. Oh God.
This week, I wish this week was beer. God. Just finish my story.
Mm-hmm.
So this week it's historically slow, which means that I have been far more relaxed and just kind of like good. Plus it's the holidays. I really enjoy the holidays, not necessarily like Christmas in general, but just the holiday season. So there's still lights up. I can still drive around, but there's really nothing. There's no pressure left. We do have to go to your mom's on Saturday, but
fair.
That's not very pressure-y.
E.
Pretty pressure-y.
Yeah.
You know, like a pressure cookery. So I wish this week was beer because this week has been really easy and it is something I cannot obtain more than once a year.
Fair.
So if I could have it like beer, I would have this kind of chill year round, and I will not get that. So
Carol, I can do math. I don't question your skills. All right, so Andrew wishes that Christmas were beer because I eventually run out of beer, but I'm on day 4 of Christmas and it's showing no signs of stopping.
Godspeed.
That's fair. Good news, Katie. Andrew stole mine.
I took a nap on Christmas.
True
That's how
story.
my week's been going.
I wish the crunchy water served to our owner's family who displaced other customers was beer. Literally. Boy, that is specific, Abby. Boy.
Ooh,
Kevin, you haven't. This is true. She turned the compost.
I did turn the compost.
Yep.
My back hurts from it.
3 years after me building the compost pile, Tiffany turned the compost.
I have done it multiple times. Will you just do your wish or beer before I murder you live?
I don't even have one. I still love you too, Carol. You don't have to worry about that. I wish Carol were beer. No? No?
No, I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm not over here being Kanye.
Kanye! Now, actually, I wish 4-day weekends were beer. I didn't get a whole lot of time off for the holidays, but I did take a little time off over the next couple of weeks to make sure I had consistent 4-day weekends. And I wish 4-day weekends were beer because, good Lord.
Are you off tomorrow?
I can't drink that consistently.
Are you off tomorrow?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Starting next week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read a book. We share a calendar.
I don't look
All
at
right.
it.
I wish 4-day weekends were
It's
beer.
not my work calendar.
So that I could have one every weekend like I normally do with beer
Just one
when
beer
I
every
only
weekend.
drink
Yes.
on the weekend.
Only one beer on the weekend.
Yeah, the internet exists.
Yep.
Here's the thing. If you're a glutton for punishment and you'd like to see us again, we do the show every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We are going to do a show next week. We haven't decided on the beer yet. We have a couple of beers in transit. So we'll make a decision on what beer we're doing.
Last minute decision.
Not last minute. It'll be top of mind. But we are going to have a beer next week. So make sure you stop by. We'll post on our social medias what beer we're doing that week. So make sure you go to all of our social medias, our website. Please visit us, wishyouwerebeershow.com. Again, Britt from Bird Girl. If you're not familiar with them, A, if you're in the area, check them out. B, if you're not in the area, go to their website. They have great merch as well. If you like corduroy hats, they kind of run the market on it.
They have some cool.
Yeah. So check them out if you get the chance. They're good folks, good people. We really enjoy spending some time with them. And we're going to be doing a couple of more local spotlights on the next couple of episodes throughout the next year. So pay attention.
Tune in next time.
Good Lord, you're terrible at closing this show out. Just closing out. Go ahead.
Thank you all for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in next week, 8 p.m. Eastern,
Fucking
live on the internet.
gold.
I thought it was pretty good.
I just need you to close a goddamn show out.
I need you to chill. Why are you so mean to me?
That's my favorite.
I don't know why.
I love that with our closing credits, everyone's going to think that Phil hates us. You and I argue all the time.
We're getting divorced. Happy 2024.
Happy 2024.